Then lastly, we have the column of the what? The cumulative. The column of the what? Cumulative frequency. Now, you get the column of the cumulative frequency from the what? Frequency. Cumulative frequency is the sums of all the frequencies, starting with the first value of your what? Of your frequency. Let's assume that your first value of your frequency is 6, and the second value is 4, and the third value is 3. Now, if you come to your cumulative frequency column, you write the first value of the what? Frequency, which is what? 6. Then you add it to the next value, which is 4. 6 plus 4 is what? 10. You write what? 10. The next value is what? 3. 10 plus 3 is what? 13. That is how you keep up adding up one after the other. That is all about cumulative frequency table or grouped frequency table. So you can use frequency table or you can use grouped frequency table to represent your information. Now, another method of data presentation is what we call charts. We can use what? Charts. And these charts, you can use either what we call bar charts or pie charts. Now let's take the first one. Let's take bar charts. As a bar chart, it's a graphical. When we talk about charts, we are talking about graphical way of presenting what? Informations. Where you can use what we call graph or pictures to represent your what? Information. Instead of what? Using what? Table. You can use bar chart, you can use pie charts to represent your what? Information. Now, let's talk about bar chart. Now, these bar charts, we have 3 forms of bar charts. We have 3 forms of what? Bar chart. We have the simple bar chart, we have the component bar chart, and we have the what? Multiple bar charts. Now, bar chart is a rectangular representation. Is a what? Rectangular representation of what? Of information. Bar chart comprises of 1. We have what we call vertical and horizontal axis. A bar chart must have a vertical and what? And horizontal axis. That is the first one. Number 2, we use what we call a rectangular shape. A what? A rectangular shape to represent each information. To represent what? Each information or each data you have what? You have collected. Then there is what we call scales. Your chart must contain what? A scale. That is, what scale are you to use to represent your information? That is, are you to use 2? Now, to choose your scale, it depends on the value of your what? Of your frequencies. If your frequencies are in hundreds, you have to use what? Hundreds. If they are in thousands, you have to use what? Thousands. It's depending. But for you to select, you look at the highest value of your what? Of your frequency. What is the highest value? Let's assume the highest value is hundreds. Now, if the highest value is what? Hundreds from your what? From your frequency, then you can now decide to know what type of scale to use. Are you to use 5, 5? Are you to use 10? Or are you to use what? 20? If you are to use 5, that means you start from 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, up to what? 100. Then, if you are to use 10, you can use 10, 10. That is 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, up to what? 100. Or you can use what? 20. 20, 40, 60, 80, and what? 100. It depends on the highest, or depends on what? On the value of your what? Of your frequency. Then, thirdly, your bar must contain a title. It must contain what? A what? A title. Yes. that title has to be written in capital letter, or you can write it in small letter and what? Underline it. Every chart must contain what? It must contain a title. So I would like to stop here. In our next lesson, we shall see how to draw a what? A bar chart. And we shall discuss the 3 types of bar chart and see how we can plot them. So thank you. Any question? Class limits. Class limits, I said, is the limit of a particular class. Every class has its own limits. Now, go to your class interval. A class starts from 6 and ends at what? 10. That means the limit of that class is what? 6 and 10. Hope you understand. That class cannot go less than 6, and it cannot go beyond what? Beyond 10 or above 10. Sorry, it cannot go above 10. Is that clear? That is what class limit is. Where a particular class starts and where it what? Stop. That is what we mean by what? Class what? Class limits. Any other question?
Sir,
data presentation and data analysis. Is there any? There is difference. There is different. It is true when you present and then you analyze. Because it is after presentation that you can what? Analyze. Now, we cited an example that we want to do a research based on the causes of cholera. Let's say an example, that causes of cholera in Yelwa College. We are doing a research. So after you have done your research, you understand. Let's say we distributed 100 questionnaire, and then we give a closed questionnaire where the student can tick what they think is the causes of cholera. One, maybe in your questionnaire, as you have stated, lack of washing hand by the student, or lack of good hygiene in the mini-mats, and so many other factors that can what? That can cause what? Cholera. You understand? So after you have distributed the questionnaire, you have retrieved it back. Now, when you come to your data presentation, in your frequency table will tell you what is the highest value. Is it lack of washing hand or lack of good hygiene in the mini-mat that causes what? That causes what? Cholera. Based on the what? Student what? Respond from your what? From your questionnaire. Now, let's say what we get is what? Lack of what? Washing hand has the majority from your what? From your questionnaire that you have what? Distributed to what? To the various student. Now, if you are now that you are stating, table frequency is just there to present the information. You understand? It's only frequency table represents only the information you have what? You have collected. Now, your analyzation is what? You have analyzed that. Now, what you try to get from the table. Okay, from the table below, it shows that lack of washing hand is one of the major causes of cholera in Yelwa College. Now you are analyzing. Hope you understand. So the table is only presenting the information. Then you yourself, you analyze and then bring out what? The result. Is that clear? That is the difference between them. If you are using charts, the same thing. If you are using pie chart or you are using bar chart and all other things. Is that clear? All these ways are forms of data presentation. Any other question? No question. So I think with this, we have come to the end of this lecture, and we shall meet next week.